Hey, so this is going to be a real quick message from me today, and it is about forming your company name or your company logo or your company colors, branding and that kind of thing. And my one word of warning is don't get yourself bogged down in it. I know that when I came to the decision of creating the company, I was stuck for almost 2 to 3 weeks trying to figure out the perfect name that would incorporate what I wanted to do with our products. Truthfully, that's delayed me getting onto the market, getting out there, getting testing, getting people's feedback on the products. Looking back, although we did get the right name, I don't think it was the most important part of our journey. Now, a good point to know is that some of the biggest companies in the world, and we'll talk about Apple for a second, have changed their names not once but twice in their history. They started as something like Apple Computers Corporation, and then they changed to something else, and then they dropped it all to become the Apple. Now, a few quick tips that I wanted just to share is I would try and keep it a one-word name. I would try not to incorporate your name if you can. Certainly don't become like Chris Foster and Sons or Chris Foster and Daughters, something like that. I think that's a little bit too old school. Now, this goes against everything that I went with, but don't try and get too fancy with the name. One of the biggest problems that I had with my company, Sponge, is that I had a 2 in the middle of it, and people were like, well, how on earth are you gonna say that? Is it Spahuntunj? And it was a real problem for me at the beginning. And also I broke the other wall. I didn't go with the one name, I went for Sponge Super Absorbent, or Super Absorbent Sponge to begin with. But then we've dropped the Super Absorbent halfway through, and now we just Sponge. So learn from my mistakes. Don't bog yourself down too much in it. It's not going to be the biggest problem in the world if you change it or tweak it later on. I mean, you can adapt that, and that's part of the fun of building the company. One of the things we, myself, really struggled with is when I had a one product company, and it was the Super Absorbent Sponge. As I started to grow and become a different type of company, a different type of products, the Super Absorbent bit didn't fit anymore. So I'd hemmed myself really into a box there. And I worried for ages about dropping the Super Absorbent and trying to push it only onto one range of products and all of that kind of stuff. And I did it, and you know what? No one even noticed that I'd done that. We went from one colours to different colours in the logo. Nobody kind of noticed. Quick fire changes, especially as you're getting bigger, as you're growing, as you're learning, it won't make a difference. Just think of it as best suited to you. Reach out, ask your friends and family, get their feedback, and then boom, do it. Quick decision is better than no decision. Just get your product, your service, whatever it is, get it formulated, get it branded, get it out there, and then adapt it later on. It's better to adapt it than to have never launched it because you couldn't figure out your brand or your logo or whatever like that. So that is a hot tip. Don't get stuck in that trap.